Okay, so you've been going to the gym for a year or two, you made significant progress, but now you're feeling like you're stuck. I can think of at least four reasons why. The first and the most common reason of why you may not be progressing anymore is because you're simply not training hard enough. I can't tell you the number of people I see in the gym that just think that they're training hard, but they only train till like mild discomfort. They literally just stop the set when they've still got like 5 or 6 more reps in the tank. That is not how you make gains. Yeah, sure, for newbies that's fine because your bodies are still not adapted to the stimulus you provided in the gym. But as you grow more experienced, your muscles need to get a more robust, harder stimulus in order to make more gains. You need to push your muscle to or at least close to failure. Genuinely just ask yourself, when was the last time you trained so hard that the weight just fell down? Like, even if there was a gun pointed at your head, you still couldn't have lifted that weight. When was the last time you actually trained with that intensity? Yeah, right, I know you didn't. So if you want to make more gains, you need to up your intensity. Trust me, even if you think you're training hard, you aren't. The next point that I can think of is your recovery is not on point. Sleep quantity and sleep quality are the two most important factors after training and nutrition to make more gains. You can have your nutrition in check, you can have the right amount of calories and your macros might be on point, your training intensity and your volume and everything else might be on point. But if your sleep quality is not good, or if you're just not getting enough sleep, you're not going to make progress after a certain point of time. You're just not. Because your body is not recovering, your body is not getting the time to build the muscle. So you need to optimize your recovery, you need to optimize your sleep. You need to be getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Trust me, this might feel like it's a very generic advice, but this is going to be a game changer for most of y'all. Because it definitely was for me. Earlier, I used to go to bed at about 12 or 12:30 a.m. and wake up at 6:30 or 7, and my gains just sort of stagnated. I just wasn't growing enough. But as soon as I dialed my sleep in, as soon as I started getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I was making gains like I was never before. The other reason why your recovery might not be on point is because you're doing way too many sets. Yeah, sure, your intensity is high, but more is not always more. More after a certain point of time will give you less returns because you're just doing way too much. Every single set you add will give you this much amount of stimulus, but will also give you this much amount of fatigue. So you need to find the perfect balance where your stimulus is slightly greater than your fatigue. Another reason might be just because you're not eating enough. You're probably not eating enough calories or you're not consuming enough protein. These two things are the most important when it comes to building muscle in terms of nutrition. So make sure you're eating enough calories so that your body recovers, and you're getting in enough protein daily so that you have the building blocks to build the muscle. The third reason, according to me, might be because your exercises may have stagnated. You may have been doing the same exercises for a very long time, which is why your body and muscles associated with it may be adapted to the movement patterns. You need to change the tension curves of the exercise or hit the muscle from a different angle. And by changing the tension curve of the exercise, I mean you should prioritize putting the maximum tension in the stretched position. I personally like to change my exercises every 2 to 3 months. Or maybe you can just experiment with different rep ranges. This tip actually worked really well for me. When I was prioritizing growing my chest, I was doing all the reps for my chest on a lower end, about 5 to 10 reps. But as soon as I changed my rep range to a little bit on the higher side, like 15 to 20 reps, my chest started getting sore session by session, and I noticed some significant gains. So you should definitely try this out too. And the fourth reason why you may think you're not progressing is because you actually are progressing, but just way too slow to notice. And to be honest, this is the case with 99.9% of the people. They're way too impatient. You need to understand muscle building takes time. You're not going to see significant progress in just 1 week, especially if you're a sort of experienced lifter with about 2 or 3 years of gym experience. Progression for you is very different from someone who's just started gymming. For someone who's a beginner, they may progress on every single exercise, every single time, every single week. But for you, progression might just look like a slightly better technique than last week. If you'll just once simply zoom out to a couple of months instead of just the previous weeks, you'll actually notice you made pretty good progress. It just takes time, so you need to trust the process. Just stick with it, be consistent, keep putting in the intensity, and have good recovery. So these were the 4 reasons that I think are the most common reasons as to why someone may think they're not progressing. If you found this video helpful and if you enjoyed this video, do leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more such informative gym content, and I'll see you in the next one.